hospital, as is Lopez. I don't know yet. I mean, Garcia's he's sitting there. Haney's there's a fight. Haney's got to take care of business against Diaz. You got Lomachenko fighting Comey. There are a lot of different directions and places that he can go. And frankly, he's sitting there with all these belts at 35. So there's people looking up at him from 30 and people looking down at him from 42. So he has a wealth of opportunities and alternatives. Devin Haney is certainly one of them. But I don't think we're not committing ourselves to anything tonight.
Would you think Lomachenko is his name, like he was the former champ before Tay?
I mean, first of all, Lomachenko has to get by my guy Comey. So, I'm not sitting here looking. I got Comey. I'm not looking past that night, December 11th, where we'll be back here in the big room. I don't know. I think that there are a lot of possibilities, and Devin is one of them.
Lou, Teofimo was obviously upset with the hometown stoppage. He believes that he won 10 of 12 rounds.
Well, come on, dude. You watched the fight, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you think he won 10 or 12 rounds,
no,
I want whatever drug you're on. I want whatever he's on, because if he thinks he won 10 or 12 rounds, I love Teofimo. But if he thinks he won 10 rounds, he's tripping. Tripping. Cold, stone, tripping. I mean, I thought the right guy won the fight. I mean, I really thought the right guy won the fight. I had him winning the fight. I mean, I got to be honest, after the 10th round, Teofimo had taken a couple of rounds. It had closed. I had a gap, and then I saw the gap closing. But then I thought Teofimo turned it around and made George turned it around again and clearly won 11 and 12. And I thought he won the fight.
Lou, when you heard the split decision, right? First card went to Kambosas.
Whenever you hear split decision, you get nervous, especially when you're the B-side. Whenever you hear split decision, you get nervous.
Did you 75 or a little wider than that?
I had it 7-4-1, 7-5. Call it 7-5 because I had one that I was so close, but you could argue maybe Teofimo landed a harder punch. But I thought George won clearly by a couple of points. At one point, I had George up 4 points, and then it tightened up, and then George opened it a little bit again.
Let me ask you this. I know it's like a lot of boxing fights come back and forth. Do you think with this performance, George proved he's number one?
Right now he is. Right now he is.
People say, no, Devin.
For what? For what resume? I mean, when Devin didn't beat Teofimo Lopez, he beat the man. Now he's the man. If Devin beats him, Devin will be the man if we fight Devin. Right? But this attitude, like we somehow have to fight them. Who if they do shit? Yeah. George's gonna do what's right for George. I mean, and dollars. What makes dollars makes sense.
So what do you think makes the biggest dollars for George?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, man. That's my job. And I'm gonna bring those opportunities to George and his team, and they're gonna make a decision as to what route they want to go.
Lou, I gotta ask because I see it on Twitter all right now. Do you consider did you consider Teofimo undisputed, or did you consider Devin Haney the WBC champion?
I mean, he's got a belt, but Teofimo beat Loma. Loma was the man. I consider Teofimo going into this fight to be the man, and now I consider George to be the man.
Okay.
And Devin has a belt. And Devin is not the biggest name in the division, and Devin is not the biggest draw in the division, and Devin's never proved himself on pay-per-view, and Devin's never generated tens of millions of dollars. Doesn't mean he's not a great fighter. Doesn't mean he can't be a superstar in the future. But we're not committing ourselves to everything until we look at the whole marketplace and the whole universe of opportunity. And then George Kambosas just rightfully will make the decision where he's going next.
You just got done.
Have had this conversation yet, but how important is it for him to fight?
I've known he's always his team's always wanted to fight him, so it's pretty important to him. So I think it's something that certainly will be looked at, and very possible that'll be on the agenda. I mean, he's an Australian. In Australia, he's now like he's the. I mean, you want to talk about the man? When he gets off a plane in Australia, he's the man, right? So I mean, if you're Australian, he's a proud Australian of Greek heritage, and I'm sure he's going to want to visit Greece in the next year, and I'm sure he's going to want to fight in Australia.
Blue, you just got done saying if it makes dollars, it makes sense. You'll see. You said we'll see what that is. What do you think is the biggest challenge for Kambosos at 135?
I don't gauge challenges, man. I gauge opportunities and events, and we're going to look at what presents itself as the biggest, potential event and the biggest payday for George, and also a plan of action for George. I mean, we're going to look in the marketplace. It's not just. I mean, George can make a decision to fight pretty much anyone he wants next. He's not bound to a mandatory. He just fought one. He's not. Right. He doesn't have to fight Devin Haney. He can elect to fight someone else. Now, that being said, we're going to listen and talk about Haney, but we're going to listen and talk about everything else that may present itself as a big opportunity.
How likely is a homecoming?
It's too early to say, man. To be honest, we probably won't even have a serious conversation about anything for he's got to get home and hang out with his kids. He's been training for a fight for a full year. I mean, this COVID shit and all the cancellations and the stuff that went on with the movement of the dates of Triller, and just like there was he's been training for a full year for a fight. He's got to be physically exhausted. And by the way, that was World War III. So I got to wrap it up. These guys have to go home.
Lou, lastly,
these guys have to get out of here. They got to get out of here. So
lastly, what did it say when Teofimo's in the ring saying that he won and a pro-Lopez crowd is booing him?
It says he didn't win, by the way, you all know he didn't win. I know he didn't win. I don't hate the kid for thinking he won. He's a great kid. He's my friend. I've always liked Lopez since he was an amateur, and I think he's a good kid. I think he's a terrific fighter, and he'll be back. He did not win tonight. The man who walked out with all the belts is the man that won tonight and earned those belts, and this is George Kambosos' time to celebrate.
Lou, thank you for